Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy 15 and I'm using the Ring of the Lucii that's newly overpowered in the final dungeon, Cosltemark Dungeon. This is the vaulted dungeon in the bottom of Cosltemark Tower. It's the dungeon where you cannot use any items. So last night I did a live stream on it and people seemed to really enjoy it. So I thought I'd make it into a video as well. So I've definitely compressed this down to a lot shorter of a time. I believe the stream was about 2 hours long. So I think this is going to be roughly about 20 minutes. Anyways, I'm going to show you all the different types of monsters in the dungeon. I'm not going to show you every fight, obviously, but I'll show you each type of different monster and how the ring works on it. If you want to get into trying this dungeon, I'd recommend not worrying about limit break magic anymore. The ring seems to do pretty well here. I had no use for magic at all, limit break magic that is. The only magic I do use in this dungeon at all will be some heal cast for when my health gets a little low, because remember that you cannot use any items here. So for Noctis, I'm just wearing my kingly raiment without the jacket because it makes my magic points regenerate faster. I'm also using an accessory for that too, for MP regeneration, and then I have 2 for magic attack. I don't really know if magic attack does much, but as you can see, this first fight here, I was able to alterna everything. And alternate to using alterna on these guys, you can very quickly kill them with death. Like, it's instant, basically. You just tap circle and they'll explode. There's no waiting at all. So this next floor is going to be against some hobgoblins. You can use death magic here, but it's a little slower. So I would suggest using alterna for sure. Now, sometimes alterna doesn't work on everything. Usually if there's a bunch of monsters in a room, it's going to take out a few of them anyways. Probably most of them, the majority of the time. But you'll sometimes be left with one. Here I got lucky and I killed them all very easily. But if you don't, just run around the room sprinting basically and let your magic regenerate. If you have an accessory for that and you also have the kingly raiment without a jacket, it goes fairly quickly. As you can see, it's regenerating there. While you're waiting, what I do is I don't switch to weapons because I want to just use my ring only for this purpose here of the video. But I'll use my other character's skills. So the skills that I like to use are Impulse on Gladio. I like to use Regroup for Ignis for obvious reasons that's my main source of healing. And I was using Gravisphere on Prompto, but I switched to Piercer just because it only takes one of the tech bars away. So I have a skill on Prompto that takes 1 tech bar away. I have Regroup on Ignis that takes 2, and then I have Impulse on Gladio that takes 3, and Impulse does pretty good damage. So these are my least favorite monsters in the entire game. I absolutely hate mind flayers. Anybody in the live stream probably heard me say that a million times, and as well in my original Cosltemark Dungeon video. I hate them because of that move right there. But I got really lucky throughout this entire run. Besides this fight here, alterna basically took out all of them in each room. I didn't have too much problems. There was a few that they left one, but really I got really lucky there. So for your outfits on the other guys, or even your accessories, I didn't really worry about it too much. I just put on some goofy looking stuff for them. Basically, you could see Prompto's in the thermal suit, Gladio's trying to be sexy, and Ignis I just put on his casual outfit. But for accessories, although I didn't really do too much, I would suggest probably putting ribbons on for them, because as you can just see right there, they're confused because of these guys. As remember, I told you that you could death magic. See how fast these guys death magic explode? It's great. These and goblins, the small goblins, will explode instantly when you use death magic on them. The hobgoblins, the bigger ones, the bigger blue guys, they don't. So we'll just continue on here. As I said, I'm not doing every floor in this video. I'm just going to show you each type of monster and how the ring affects them. So these are the small goblins. You just watch how fast they die. It's really fast. I just literally hold down lock on and circle. I just hold them down whenever I walk into this room, and it just switches to each different one and kills them. It's super fast. And you use less magic than if you were to use alterna. There's really no point on something like that. Every other monster in this, besides the goblins and those sheep looking guys, try to alterna. So here I'm at a Marlborough. I would suggest obviously using alterna. I get pretty lucky on these guys. As you'll see here, I just let my magic regenerate, and I'll alterna him, and no problem. Just when you alterna him, run away from them, because as they're getting sucked up, they can still hit you, and you want to try to avoid getting hit because you don't get to use any items. You can see in my left hand weapon slot I have some magic. That is my heal cast magic. It works as not an elixir because it doesn't give you any magic, but it's like an elixir for your health. Basically, it brings your health all the way back up, but no MP regeneration from it. So it's definitely good to have some of that. If you're not sure how to make that, all it is some magic and mega items. So mega potion, mega phoenix, mega elixir. If you've been doing timed hunts when they're available, you should probably have a lot of mega potions. Those are the ones I use. Just use as many as you want. I brought about 10 spells worth of heal cast, just in case I needed it. And then of course I have regroup if I'm dying as well. But unfortunately that doesn't recover your health all the way back up. Okay, so now I am on this monster, Jabberwock. He's basically a copy of the final boss. He actually took me a few tries to kill with alterna, as you'll see here. I think it took me four tries to get there. Either 4 or 5 anyways. But just run around the room, stay away from him. He does cast some, I think it's ice damage. It's the opposite of the final boss. The final boss, Bill Ross, does fire damage. So just stay away from him. Use your skills on your other guys just to fill in the time. Take him down a little bit. And don't let him catch up to you. One thing I should mention here is the food that I ate is the lasagna al forno. I used it mainly for enemies like this because I wanted to block my all the elemental damage that could be inflicted on me, because I know the final boss does fire, and well, apparently this guy does fire as well. I thought it was ice, but yes, you can block all the damage from that, so you don't have to worry about it, because that is their main damaging move they do. And it also gives you 4,000 HP. If you need experience points, using the lasagna al forno is good for that as well, because it does 100% boost on your experience gain. As you can see, when it did that fire damage, I had invulnerable showing up all over the screen. That's because of the lasagna. So it is one of the best foods to have when you're at this point in the game. So you can see Impulse does fairly good damage, but it still has a lot of health left. So we're going to try Alterna again as soon as my magic gets back up. Now this was probably one of the most resistant monsters that I ran into while during this run, with Alterna anyways. But eventually you will get them. Just run around in a circle. It's generally pretty fast to go through here with the ring. So now I'm in the room with all the iron giants. I'm going to get some of them, but I'm not going to get all of them in the Alterna. I think I got 2 out of the 4. So I need to get 2 more out of here. So I'm just going to do as I was before. Run around, try to stay away from them as much as possible. I'm not a big fan of fighting iron giants, especially because of that move that sucks you in. But do your best to stay away from it without trying to warp strike or phase around the room, because obviously you want to save your magic for alterna, because that will be the fastest way to kill these. Now, some people say that alterna cannot be cancelled by being hit. I don't really know what the case is with that, because I have been cancelled, but then again, I've been doing alterna and I've gotten hit and I wasn't cancelled. So I think certain moves from monsters can cancel you and certain ones cannot. So just be aware of that. Like the Mind Flare move that I hate, when it tries to latch onto you, when I'm doing alterna, it goes right through me. So that's something to know. Other than that, just try to avoid getting hit altogether. You want to save as much health as you can. These guys usually alterna pretty well, but in this room here, they are a little resistant. So as soon as my magic gets back up, I'm going to give it another try. Piercer does pretty good damage as well. That's one reason why I keep it on, is too, and it does weaken them for if I have to use impulse. I'm sure there's probably better moves for Prompto if you wanted to use them, but I didn't want to use too many tech skill bars, just because if I'm using a lot of them and I end up needing regroup, that could put me in some trouble. So as you can see here, death also works. It doesn't work that great. Usually if I'm fighting these things and I don't have full MP for an alterna, I'll wait till they're at least close, because then I can just take them down with that. If it's a little bit, it's not a big deal. You couldn't drain them all the way down without running out of MP though. These corals do alterna very easily, as you can see here. Oh, well, there was one left. Generally, they do work pretty good though. You want to avoid them. I do believe they do an instant death move, so if you are worried about that, you could wear a safety bit to nullify the instant death effect. I wasn't worried about it because I was hopeful that they would alterna right away. Luckily for me, they didn't instant kill me, which I appreciate. Thanks, corals. But yeah, just keep running around the room until you get your MP back and give it another try. If you have limit break magic stored up, you could go ahead and use it if you wanted to. You can combine it with the ring. I had some. I just wanted to see exactly how far I could get with the ring alone. And as you'll see, I do pretty good. I didn't even realize that Gladio died at that point. It's funny looking back on it now. So here's another room of different monsters. These Nagis. You want to avoid letting them coil up around you, so try to stay out on the outside of the area. Again, you want to just run around until you have them all killed. If they do, however, end up coiling around you, don't try to save your MP at that point. Warp strike out of there. That's the only way I know how to get out of it. There might be a way to block and parry, but I can't really remember. I just warp strike out of when they coil around me. As you can see, death magic does work on them as well, but it doesn't take them down that fast, so alterna is your best bet. And just to fill in the time, again, use any skills that you have available. If you're worried, save your tech bar so you can keep regroup on. I'm not too worried about it because I'm staying away from it pretty good. And I do have my heal cast magic if I really need it. So are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? Yeah, we got him with alterna. No, we did not. I thought I had him there. I didn't. So this one is a little resistant. He's gone through 2 alternas and he hasn't got sucked up yet. This is the second time I've done this dungeon with the ring, and it's hit and miss. Most of the time, like more than 50, not even 50%. Most of the time the ring works amazing. And the first run I think probably went a little bit faster than this, but regardless, if you don't want to waste your magic, the ring is a very viable option for you. I don't think I would ever do this with magic again. The ring is perfect for this. A lot of people think the ring is too much, but I mean, to me, I just look at it as a way to prevent me from having to farm materials to make magic. I'm not going to use it all the time because I do like the battle system, but once in a while. I'm probably going to finish this off here with Piercer, it looks like. So I didn't kill him with Alterna, but you can finish him off with your skills, and hopefully your other guys can take him down pretty quick. Okay, so this is the final boss, Bilrost. He's kind of like Jormungand, just higher level. I think I looked it up and he had around 700,000 HP, so you could be here a while. But luckily for me, I won't be. Alterna, bam, first try. That's amazing. How could you beat that? First try, Alterna, and the boss is dead. I believe when I did this originally and I was using Limit Break magic, it takes about 5 casts of Limit Break magic. Maximum potency too. Well, that's it for this video. As I said, this was a condensed version of my Cosltemark live stream from last night. I hope you liked it. If you did, please leave a like. Let me know how you feel about how powerful the ring is now, if you approve of the ring or if you think it's too much. If you have any ideas for streams or videos you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments as well. I've been doing live streams for both Final Fantasy and Nier Automata pretty often now, and of course videos as well, so don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of that. I'll be doing more live streams more often, so I do hope you will join me for those. You can now follow me on Twitter for more news and updates about the channel and the games I cover, and you can also now join my Discord server if you want to take the chat beyond the comment section and talk to me and other like-minded gaming enthusiasts. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.